Who Dat Nation? It's your friend Carter the Power, and I am feeling generous. Look, all you have to do is comment below the correct score, Saints versus Bears, this Sunday in Soldier Field, and I am Venmoing you $25. Do it now. Guess what? $25 could be yours. And for this video, I want over 100 comments. We've been so great with the comments lately, but let's go even higher. And as many of you know, I reply to all of them. Today, we're discussing everything New Orleans Saints trade rumors right here on Chat Sports. The trade deadline's coming up. It's October 29th. It'll be here before you know it. And the first player the Saints should look at, pick up the phone right now, because this guy right here is going to take the Saints to the next level. Yes, it's A.J. Green. Who says no in this equation? This is one of the best wide receivers in the past decade. Yes, he's never had a 100 reception season, but he's had Andy Dalton throwing him the football for most of his career. The Red Rifle, whatever his name is. That is not good. You think A.J. Green at this point in his career wants to play for a contender. This is the perfect opportunity for both of these franchises to win, okay? The Bengals need to rebuild. So if you send them this first round pick to get A.J. Green in return, I'm telling you, they're going to be happy about it. And I know some Saints fans are wondering, well, a first round pick, we've traded so many picks in recent years, and guess what? The Saints are still winning. It's time to be aggressive, because right now, the Saints wide receivers core is decent. You have the best wide receiver in the NFL, in Michael Thomas, and then a bunch of other guys. So, Ted Ginn Jr. will be your burner, and your other wide receiver would be A.J. Green, who actually reminds me of a Michael Thomas of yesteryear. This guy can flat out play, and one of my favorite things about A.J. Green is that when he actually plays in the slot, he's just as effective as he is on the outside. And yes, he doesn't have the same breakaway speed or separation, but you don't need that with Drew Brees, because he's a guy that'll throw you open. So, I think that move would be a win-win move for both teams. I understand A.J. Green has big-time health concerns. Totally get it. But this guy would come in hungry, finally get to play for a contender, get to play indoors instead of cold outdoor Cincinnati, and the Saints would have that extra weapon for down the stretch to really make that push to the Super Bowl. So, I want to open up the comments right now. Do you think the Saints should trade for A.J. Green? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Now, once again, I am all about the comments. So, if you don't think A.J. Green is the right wide receiver for the Saints to make a move for, give me another name, okay? I'm open for suggestions. I just think that would be an absolutely perfect fit for the New Orleans Saints. Now, before I get to my final two trades, and let me tell you, one of these guys is actually a friend of mine. But first, I want to talk about this upcoming matchup between the Saints and the Bears. Now, I'm going to give you the correct score, all right, in just a second. First, let's discuss the timing of this game. It is an afternoon game at 3:25, okay? So it's one of those fancy late afternoon primetime games. And the Bears right now are favored by 3 points. But that's not the number that really interests me. It's the over-under right now at 38.5, okay? Now, before I give you my score prediction and a few other trends, I want to tell you about our friends at BetDSI. Chat Sports, our favorite sports book, is BetDSI. Do you want to make some money when the Saints get this crazy upset on the road upset? You need to go to BetDSI and get the best bonus cash deal when you sign up to bet on sports. Get started with our sportsbook partner BetDSI by going to chatsports.com And when you get there, promo code NFL120. Now, if you follow those steps, you get a 120% bonus when you make your first deposit to bet on the NFL, college football, NBA, or put some money down on the Saints to win the Super Bowl. Why wouldn't you? Saints games are even better when you win and when they win. So get there now with BetDSI. Go to chatsports.com/BET and make sure to use that promo code NFL120 for a 120% deposit bonus. Now, before I give you the correct scores, here's a few numbers for you. The Saints are 4-0-1 in their last 5 meetings against the number. Something else, the career matchup between the Saints and the Bears is a dead tie right now. 15-15 in their 30 matchups. The last time they played was in 2017, and the Saints have won their last 4 matchups. The Saints have hit the under in their last 4 games on grass, and the Bears have hit the under in their last 5 games at home, which is why that over-under number is very interesting because it is very low. Both of these teams have been playing a lot of low-scoring games. So, I'm going to give you the correct score right now. The Saints win 20-17. Parlay that under and parlay the Saints covering that 3 points and getting the win on the road. Now let's go to trade number 2, where the Saints receive Tyler Eifert, tight end from the Cincinnati Bengals, and in return, the Bengals will receive a 2020 5th-round pick. Now, this is an interesting deal because Jared Cook has played better. He did score the only touchdown of the game between the Saints and the Jaguars last week in a 13-6 win, and that is very important. But overall, Jared Cook's kind of been like meh, and Josh Hill behind Jared Cook has also been meh. Tyler Eifert is good in the red zone. Now, he's not going to stretch the field. His best years are behind him. Of course, the injury bug has hit him as well as A.J. Green, but he does give the Saints some much-needed tight end depth. So, the Tyler Eifert deal is pretty interesting because when you compare their numbers this year, they're actually pretty even. Tyler Eifert has 15 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown. And once again, Jared Cook, he stretches the field just a little bit more. 15 catches for 168 and 2 TDs. So when you match up their numbers, same number of catches, obviously Jared Cook is better than 2 tight ends, but Tyler Eifert would give you some depth. So once again, before I go to this final trade, a guy that I got to know well back in my college days, let's get those scores in. Comment sections, I want to be filled right now with comments. Give me the score of the Saints and Bengals games so I can give you a Saints and Bears game so I can give you $25. I want to give it to you. I want to Venmo it to you. Come on, let's do it. What are we doing? Saints, Bears, final score. I'm giving you the right answer right now. Saints 20, Bears 17. And once again, the first correct prediction, we will Venmo you $25. Now, once again, I want to connect with you on social media at Carter the Power. That's at Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all the good stuff. And then also follow at Chat Sports on all social medias. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. So, this is actually my favorite trade. And I have been wanting this trade to happen. It has been floated around for quite some time. Let's get him over here. This man, Patrick Peterson, LSU legend. The Saints would receive P2 in return for a 2020 first-round pick. Who would not like to see one of the most beloved LSU legends back in Louisiana? I would love it. So if you actually go to my Twitter profile, you'll see me interviewing Patrick Peterson back in college. It was so cool to get to know him, and I think he would be a great fit for the Saints. Now, he is currently serving his suspension from the banned substance list from the NFL this offseason. But listen, when this guy is healthy and when this guy is locked in, he is one of the best corners in the NFL. And he had one of his worst years only a few years ago when he was suffering from a blood issue that no one even knew about. This guy would take the Saints secondary to an even higher level. And one of my favorite things about the Saints secondary as of late is that they are playing well. According to Pro Football Focus, P.J. Williams actually had his best game of the year with a grade of 83. Here's my thing about Patrick Peterson, is that, yes, Marshawn Lattimore has played better. Yes, he absolutely shut down Mike Evans, but he also got lit up by DeAndre Hopkins. It's been real Jekyll and Hyde play for Marshawn. This would help alleviate the pressure that is on his shoulders. And Eli Apple, as well, has had his ups and downs, but for the most part, he's been pretty decent. But once again, bringing in Patrick Peterson is an upgrade. This is win now mode, people, and this is the Saints' opportunity to bring in one of the best corners of the past decade. And one of my favorite things about Patrick Peterson is that you could play him anywhere. And, of course, you would put him on the outside against the best wide receiver, but he's one of those guys, to me, that when he's in a locker room, he's all about winning. And the Saints need that type of personality. And that's one of my favorite things about all the players that we've talked about today. These are three players that come from two losing franchises year after year after year. So they're going to come in hungry, wanting to win a Super Bowl. Being one of those guys that comes in and really, really, really wants it bad. And that's my favorite thing about Patrick Peterson. He is a shutdown corner. He's going to come in with some fresh legs after missing these first few games of the year. And this guy, I'm telling you, if you absolutely need it, and of course Harris has been a great punt returner, he can also return punts for you. He's one of the best overall defensive players in the entire NFL. I think the Saints should do it. Now, the depth chart, of course, would change around. Would you put Eli Apple in the slot and then move Patrick Peterson to one of those outside spots and then bench P.J. Williams? Obviously, the Williams and Bell safety duo has worked out really well for the Saints so far this year, so that wouldn't change. But you look at the overall statistics, stats this year for the Saints, and you look at the back end of their schedule. They do play Carolina and Tennessee on the road. They do have Indianapolis and San Francisco to close out. You got some pretty tough games towards the end there. I think Patrick Peterson being in that secondary would make the Saints the by far favorite in the NFC, and I think this move should be done. I think it's a win-win. Obviously, the same thing for the Cardinals. They're in a rebuilding mode. They need some more players through the draft as they build around Kyler Murray. I love this deal. I flat out love it. So tell me why I'm wrong, and the same thing I'll do for AJ Green. If you don't want Patrick Peterson, who is that defensive player you think the Saints should make a move for? Is there anyone out there, a pass rusher that you think would help the Saints? Maybe a linebacker? Give it to me in the comment section, but especially for those that lived during those Patrick Peterson LSU DBU days, you knew about the swag. You knew about how much he loved Louisiana. I interviewed him over 100 times while I was at LSU, and just going into his mindset of how excited he was to go up against Julio Jones in college. This guy has the mentality of a champion. He just needs the opportunity to play for a championship-bound team. I think that's it. That should be the player. So, once again, I'm replying to all comments. Get your Bears and Saints score in right now, because guess what? We're going to hook you up with $25, okay? Subscribe to Chat Sports right now. I am at Carter the Power, and we'll talk soon on the NFL Daily with Chat Sports.